Hi friends, welcome to the Tech Blog Live YouTube channel. The MacBook Air M1 is easily one of recent most exciting Apple laptops. The M1-equipped MacBook Air now packs far better performance than its predecessors. The MacBook Air M1 boasts performance, better power efficiency, and longer battery life. Apple has made it a lighter and slimmed the bezels surrounding the screen. The fanless design is excellent, as it means the laptop runs silently. It has the ability to run M1-optimized apps, and iOS apps are awe-inspiring. With the Air, Apple has given its thinnest and slimmest a giant leap forward in performance. The M1 is a highly acclaimed, impressively powerful ARM-based chip, giving it the right boost. It has become among the most powerful, thin, and light laptops. The MacBook Air M1 offers upgraded internals without any additional cost. The Air M1 also remains our pick for the best laptop in the world right now. Air isn't cheap, nor does it feel overpriced, compared to its similarly spec'd rivals. Let's take a look at what you're getting for your money. Apple MacBook M1 Air chip 13-inch. The good news is that the M1 chip makes this model the best MacBook Air there's ever been. With a wealth of performance improvements that extend the battery life too. The touchpad and keyboard are a joy to use, and it's easy to carry around with one arm. Design. The Air M1 has a sleek and straightforward design that hasn't changed since the MacBook Air. The design of the MacBook Air looks pretty much perfect with an entire rigid aluminum body. The Air M1 weighs just 2.8 pounds, and is just 10.2 inches thick. The MacBook Air is very portable, thin, and fits easily into most bags. You'll hardly notice it in your bag, living up to the Air in its name. Any student or a business professional can find it a great travel companion. The hinge is outstanding, with no flex in the screen or the keyboard deck. It has enough resistance, so you can set the screen to tilt precisely the way you want. You can still easily open this premium device with one finger. It has relatively thin bezels on three sides, with a thicker one at the top to house the camera. Unlike the Pro 13, Air 13 is a fanless device, which means it's utterly silent under workloads. Also, you don't have to worry about dust getting into the components over time. The MacBook Air is available in three colors: space gray, gold, and silver. Display. The MacBook Air has a 13.3-inch IPS Retina display with a 2560 by 1600 resolution. The display looks fantastic, though the bezels are not as slim as on Dell XPS 13. It displays very sharp images and text due to its high pixel density. Its 16:10 aspect ratio gives you more vertical space to don't have to scroll as much. The MacBook Air M1 is primarily a productivity laptop, limited to a 60 Hz refresh rate. The screen comes with a 400 nit LED backlit display and Apple's True Tone technology. The MacBook Air's screen gets bright enough to provide good visibility in most settings. The MacBook Air M1 has an okay contrast ratio, typical of most IPS panels. The Air has excellent reflection handling capabilities, despite having a glossy screen. The MacBook Air has an exceptional color gamut, with full sRGB and DCI-P3 coverage. Its Adobe RGB coverage is outstanding, but it might be low for professionals working in color space. Performance. Apple's processor, named M1, is used in MacBook Air, MacBook Pro, and Mac Mini. The M1 chip of Air packs enough firepower to get you through anything and everything. The Apple M1 chip with an 8-core CPU provides the ideal balance of power and efficiency. With an 8-core CPU, the M1 Air is 3.5 times faster than the prior Intel version. The 16 GB of RAM can help you perform and execute all your tasks smoothly. The ultra-fast 512M.2 SSD makes sure that you can store all your data, images, and movies. Apple also claims that the SSD in the new M1 MacBook Air is twice as fast. The 8-core GPU delivers the ultimate performance for gamers and creators. Applications and the browser run quickly, even through multiple programs and tabs open. Apple claims that the integrated GPU should also boost graphics-heavy workloads. Apple Arcade games look good and run reasonably well on the Air when gaming. It can detect your presence with Apple Watch, so you don't even have to use the fingerprint sensor. Keyboard. On opening up the MacBook Air, you're presented with a responsive Magic Keyboard. It is a lovely keyboard, feeling tactile and responsive despite how flat the keys are. The keyboard had decent feedback while typing, and they offer good key travel. The keys are well spaced, and don't require much force to actuate. The backlight is adjustable, but you can only do so through the control panel on macOS. A Touch ID button is situated above the keyboard, and it remains the best fingerprint scanner. This fantastic keyboard will give you an enjoyable game playing and typing experience. Touchpad. The glass-covered trackpad is excellent, and works brilliantly as always. The touchpad is exceptionally smooth and responsive when panning and pressing. Like all recent MacBooks, it uses haptic feedback to simulate the clicks instead of having physical buttons. You can click anywhere on the trackpad, making it easier to drag things around. It supports Force Touch, allowing you to use a harder press to perform a secondary function. It's a uniquely satisfying and responsive touchpad, making this an outstanding laptop for working. Connectivity. There again aren't too many physical connections on this laptop. The Air contains two USB Type-C ports on the left, and a headphone jack on the right. These USB Type-C ports support data transfer, fast charging, and connections for up to a 6K display. The ports can also support VGA and HDMI output, via adapters sold separately. The portable Windows laptops have also been trimmed down to two USB Type-C ports. The Apple M1 SoC supports Wi-Fi 6, for higher bandwidth connections to compatible routers. There are no USB-A ports, so you'll likely need dongles for your peripherals. Battery. The Apple MacBook Air has excellent battery life, lasting easily over an entire workday. The M1-based Air promises up to 15 hours of web usage, and 18 hours of video playback. However, it's a lot shorter if you perform CPU or GPU-intensive tasks, like editing or gaming. Battery life on Air can vary greatly depending on your usage. We noticed barely any battery drain on standby with the lid closed. Speakers. You get stereo speaker cutouts on either side of the keyboard, supported by Dolby Atmos. Speakers are up-firing, and get pretty loud without much compression at max volume. They don't have a lot of bass, so the overall sound is somewhat treble-heavy. The MacBook Air M1 speakers are better than most available 13-inch laptops. Webcam. Apple claims it has improved the quality of the 720p FaceTime HD webcam. The 720p webcam's image quality has improved, making it a lot more usable. The M1-based Air produces less grain, and exposure is better than the Intel-based Air. This webcam is suitable for your online calling and Zoom meetings. Operating system. The macOS Monterey operating system that comes pre-installed is fast and responsive. Pros. Cons. Conclusion. The MacBook Air 13-inch is a laptop that features Apple's M1 SoC. Apple's MacBook Air has been known as a favorite among super-thin ultra-portables. It's straightforward to carry around, and its battery easily lasts throughout the workday. It has a good keyboard, an excellent touchpad, and an excellent webcam for video calls. The viewing angles are excellent, as are the color and contrast of the display. Its M1 SoC is powerful enough to handle most students' and professionals' workloads. It doesn't get overly hot, and it remains utterly silent under load due to its fanless design. It's no longer an entry-level laptop, but it's also considered for heavy-duty tasks. The cherry on top is that all this comes at the same price as the previous Intel-based Air. One of the impressive advances is how quickly the Air can wake and be ready to work. Unfortunately, there are only 2 USB Type-C ports, so you'll likely need to carry adapters. It's more powerful and lasts longer, making it one of the best value offerings in Apple's MacBook lineup. Apple MacBook M1 Air chip 13 inches base price starts at $1,400, approximately 110,000 rupees. Specification table.